Hello there, my name is Jen and welcome to Lean Bella's Kitchen. So today we are going to make apple pie. Last week we went apple picking and we picked a lot of Gala apples. Normally you will make your pie with tart apples like Granny Smith or Golden Delicious apples, but all we have is Gala. So we are going to use up all the Gala apples that we have. But I'd like to show you how to make a really nice flaky soft pie crust. So we're gonna start making the dough, and I'm gonna show you step by step how to not overwork your dough. Make sure that you chill the dough before you bake your pie. We're gonna egg wash the pie. And then for the apple filling, I made that caramel applesauce from the juice that extracted from the apple when I macerated. Well, macerating is like marinating your apples with all the flavorings that you like for example, cinnamon, lemon juice, brown sugar, nutmeg, and then you combine it together with the apples and then the juice. We're gonna make that caramel applesauce, and it's gonna be really yummy. It's not overly sweet, but it's just the right flavor. And then we have our flaky apple pie crust. Oh my gosh, it's so yummy. So let's get baking. In a large mixing bowl, combine flour, salt, and granulated sugar. Use a whisk to mix everything, and then you're going to add the cold butter. You can either use a pastry cutter or your hands to mix the mixture until it resembles coarse crumbs. Now you're going to make a well in the middle of the flour mixture, then gradually add ice water 1 tablespoon at a time, and then mix the dough until it comes together, but be careful not to overmix. Once the dough comes together, form it into a ball and then wrap it in plastic wrap. You're going to chill the dough for 30 minutes or up to an hour, or until it's nice and firm. For the meantime, we're going to prep our apple filling. I'd like to have water mixed with some lemon juice to place my cut up apple so it does not turn brown on me. And then set the water lemon mixture aside. Start peeling the apples. A lot of people like to use Granny Smith or any tart apples, but because we went apple picking last week and all we picked are Gala apples, so I'm gonna use up all the Gala apples that we have. Now to core the apples, I use a melon baller and then remove the core and then slice the apples and cut them into bite-sized pieces. Now try to cut the apples into bigger chunks so they don't disintegrate while you're baking your apple pie. Drain the apples, place them in a large mixing bowl, and then add brown sugar, granulated sugar, lemon juice, cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of cornstarch. Now mix everything together. We're going to macerate the apples, and you're going to place the apples in a strainer, but you're going to place a large mixing bowl under the strainer so it catches the juice. Now these juices are what we're going to use for our caramel apple sauce. And then set the apples aside. For the meantime, we're going to work with our chilled dough. Now cut the dough in half. We're going to work with the half first and then the other half, put it back in the refrigerator. Now generously dust the surface with flour and also dust the rolling pin with flour, and then form the dough into a disc so that it's easier to roll. You're gonna roll the dough until it reaches the size of your
pie dish. It doesn't matter how thick the dough is as long as it'll fit your pie dish. You might have to trim the side, but make sure you leave some dough, about 2 inches of dough hanging over the edge, so you have enough when you try to fold the edges. And then place them into your pie dish. Make sure there's no air pockets. Press them really firmly onto your pie dish, and then fold the edges and then chill the dough again. Then you're going to work with the other half of the dough. Now dust the surface with flour again. Dust your rolling pin with flour. Form the dough into a disc, and then roll the dough to fit your pie dish. But this time you're going to place this on a baking sheet pan, because this is going on top of the pie, because this pie is a double crusted pie. And then you're going to chill the dough also. And then for the meantime, we're going to make our caramel apple sauce. So for the juices, you're going to add it into a saucepan. Add a little bit of cornstarch, and then add butter until you get that consistency. You simmer it until you get that consistency into caramel. And then you add the zest into your apples, and then you add the sauce. Now let it cool, and then once it's completely cooled, then you're gonna take your dough out of the fridge, and then you're gonna fill it with the apple filling, and then just spread the apple evenly, and then you're gonna cover it with that top rolled out dough, and then you're also going to fold the edges. Make sure that they stick together, and then fold the edges. You could also crimp the edges or use a fork to press onto the edges just to make that nice design for your apple pie. And then you're going to brush them with egg wash. Egg wash is just the egg yolks and milk mixed together, and then you brush half of the egg wash. You're gonna brush your apple pie with that half of the egg wash, and then you're gonna put it back in the fridge to chill again for about 5 minutes, and then take it out of the fridge, and then brush it again with egg wash, the rest of your egg wash, and then cut a slits into the center of the pie, and you're ready to bake them. Bake for 425 degrees for 20 minutes, and then lower the temperature to 350 and bake it again for another 45 minutes.
Okay, so the process is really not that bad. Just remember that when you make that caramel apple sauce, you add a little bit of cornstarch, and once it simmers and it thickens a little bit, then you add the butter. So it has cornstarch and butter. That's why it's really like sticky. So once you get that consistency, so that's the right consistency, and now you pour it over, and then you're ready to bake your apple pie. Just be careful. It's your pie dough is delicate, so handle it with care. And this is a really good apple pie recipe, so I hope that you try it. So my lovelies, if you have family and friends that need help with home cooking or baking, please share this video. And for more recipes, just head on to my website, and that's leanbellaskitchen.com. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.